And with that, we open up today's call. This call is also being recorded. If you get a notification on your screen, you would just give us your consent to do so. So, this podcast that we bring today is a monthly podcast, and the sole purpose of the podcast is to connect with what's going on at a very cosmic level, how it is showing up in our world, and where and all it is impacting us in a very personal manner as well. Some practical tips, some cosmic astrological highlights and themes, as well as global scenarios and its impacts. In this podcast today is hosted by the three of us, myself, Aarti and Roshni. I'm in Bangalore here, and Rosh and Aarti are in Goa. We do this podcast to somewhere demystify these concepts, which can appear to be very far-fetched sometimes or almost alienated from our everyday life and realities. We also want to bring home the thought that our world, our history, our present, politics, astrology are not separate from each other. We are also very much people who use these guides and tools as part of navigating our times, and not just looking at what solutions it can provide us and what fixes it can give us for our fears or what predictions it can make for the future. But rather, we use it in a way that what information, perspectives it can help us so that we can make better sense and form more interconnections of our experiences. So when you listen to any of us, you don't really have to bother about sitting at one place or highly attuned, attention to it. You can be moving around, you can lie down, sit back, you might be doing your work, and there would be moments where you may find yourself feeling very resonant with it. So take what really feels like is giving you some kind of value. Because eventually we are here to have some kind of a experience sharing with each one of us, and also find some kind of validation which we usually miss out for experiences that do not make sense with our current concepts that we know of. So that's where we are. You have any questions? We will be taking it at the end, and there will be a sharing also towards the end. So now we move on to some of the cosmic updates. So we start with pulling out some cards from a deck called the Mother Piece. This possibly came up during this time. I was very attracted to both the peace and the spirit of the Great Mother, what it has to tell us. When I say the Great Mother, I do not mean our biological mother or any other spiritual mother, but what it means is the spirit through which all life is born. That's the mother here, and let's see what it has to say during this time for us. I'm pulling out the first card. Let's see what it is. It's a disc card and it's 5 of discs. I can just show it to you here. Yeah. So have a look at the image, see what the image invokes in you. It's a woman. She's doing something with her hands. And there are these circular discs in the background. She's very attentively administering some kind of pressure onto something, as you can see, like making a dough, but very involved, very engrossed in using her hands. So what I want you to do is just connect with this image. Are you drawn to any particular part, any color, any symbol, or do you find any kind of resonance with any of the symbols here? So you can focus on that. And maybe just the posture of the woman here. And I can tell a little bit about it. As you can see that her body here is in some kind of a tension, some kind of a tightness, some kind of a worry. Maybe thinking about very basic stuff, very survivalistic stuff. Food, water, shelter, feelings of threat, housing, jobs, very, very basic things. That's what is occupying the mind. Other thing that it also talks about it, though there are these worries, but there is something profoundly shifting and changing in the inside. And it's not manifested. So we are in a kind of a state where the old is not working, we are worried, and the new has not yet come. There can be a sense of inertia, and it can feel like threatening. So a lot of fears could be playing out. So what to do with this energy of this card? So this card is talking about really moving the energy, doing really something very simple, using your physical senses, so to not sink into a kind of a state of unconsciousness. So here you can see this woman is actually kneading the dough. She's pushing it, she's touching it, she's rolling it, and all this keeps her energy moving rather than getting stuck. So that's what these times are invoking in us. Times of deep worry and fear at the global level. That's one of the big themes of our times. And survival is at risk. And yet it is asking us to do very basic, minimal things with our bodies. So that's one message. And with that, we can have some astrological updates.